Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 79 entitled Spiritual Ego. Well, this is the second chapter for which we're gonna spend 2 videos and we're gonna talk about the limits, the obstacles of the spiritual ego. Well, before to start, as a short introduction, I just want to show you this amazing landscape. I even thought it would have been better that I don't put my face for the series of video for ego, and because I really appreciate here, and it's kind of metaphorical. Why? Because there is the top mountain for which it's reaching 3,500 meters, and there is clouds today, by the way. It's quite exceptional. And what I really like is the fact to admire the mountain, because this is kind of ego stuff. The fact to always searching to reach a peak and higher and higher and higher. And this is a fake ascension, because to find back to your higher self is not necessarily a notion of faith. Okay, it can be also to be more grounded, and more grounded means also this amazing garden that I compare, because you have some olives trees, and also you have some peach trees, and it really looks like, you know, in the Genesis you have the Garden of Eden, for which it's just a metaphor of the ego, the projection of the let's say the original thing, the fact that the snake gives the knowledge and so on, and then they are punished, and the fault is on the snake, and then on the woman, and then on humanity, and so on, and then we inherited of it, and so on, blah blah blah. This is just an illusion, and also to shape the mentality, to reduce our capacity to vibrate, and to think that we can reach back this unity. Because just the basic things of the apple, and by the way, it was not an apple in the Middle East, in Mesopotamia, in Iraq, there was no apple at this time. But anyway, just the apple of knowledge is just the fact to consider the separation, okay, of the ego, edge God out, okay. And actually this just emphasize the fact that you are separated. You have the consciousness of being separated. We are coming down to earth, we incarnating, okay, for this, to make the separation between, okay, the great whole, okay, and to find it back, to find this unity. YOU, you and me, niti, okay, unity within. Okay, and actually it is just the knowledge to differentiate. Okay, you are there, you are a man, you are a woman, you are a kid, and we are separated. Existing etymologically speaking means to separate, to fragment. Okay, so we made within this incarnation this path to understand that, to understand that, and to find it back. Just as a metaphor, and because this is the way I'm always, we are living here for almost 1 year now, southwest of Turkey in Fethiye. The place I really love is really quiet, and the landscape is amazing. I go here to run or to walk almost every day. Well, let's try to see the different limits and obstacles of the spiritual ego, and why it's so essential. The reason why it's so essential to know them, to highlight the darkness, is allowing you to know how to face it, how to fix it. Okay, knowing a problem is half path of to solve a problem. Well, because the ego and spiritual ego especially actually hinders individual and collective awakening. Okay, this lowers your vibration, your frequencies of love, of light, and of unity. Okay, the ego can make us stagnate, even regress, and even tip over, let's say, into the to tip into the darkness as well, and to credit the egregores of darkness. So it's really important. The ego, once again, is the differentiation, is the segmentation from the unity, okay? Is the comparison as well, and this is also the detachments, okay? And this is the little voice, you cannot, they are stupid, and so on. And always comparing and so on, you are better, or you are stupid, and or they are stupid, and so on. So detachment, to exist, means to separate. I told you many times. The goal of the visualization of these obstacles is not to let's say to eradicate the ego, but to manage it. Okay, is a great, I mean, is a good servant, but it's a bad master. That's the point. So, you know, one of the first danger is to identify, it's the identification exclusively of your identity, like your image, as a statue, okay, as something fixed. But we have your individuality, okay, in which you can hear duality within individuality. Actually, it is the different, this is the mental construction of the matrix and so on, the veils, okay, of the apocalypse, means the unveiling, the mask of the personality in the different mask, okay, for dramaturgy in Greece in the past. And actually this is the whole, this, you know, it's like the different costumes, the mask of the masquerade, and or the different costumes of your wardrobe, okay. I am a father, I am a husband, I am a friend of my friends, I am the kid, I am a CEO, I am different people, okay, different masks. I don't behave exactly the same. I'm not schizophrenic, but I'm not behave in the same way. That's absolutely quite understandable. But, you know, individuality, the sum of individuality can create as well positive things like synergy, okay, synergy. For instance, I am CEO of two companies, but one company is in Shanghai, okay. It's in garments, fashion industry. Well, without my business partner, without my staff, my different employees, without my clients, without the factory we are working with, our partners, without our logistic partners, without my wife supporting me, and so on and so forth, I am nothing. I would have done nothing regarding this company. So it's the sum of successful individuality, successful ego, well managed, for which there are respect and so on, even there are hierarchy, no problem for that. And this is smooth. And this is a kind of, let's say, like an orchestra, you know, okay, there is a conductor, okay, to harmonize the music, but even each individual, let's say, player, instruments have their own job, their own responsibility. Well, one of the danger is also let's say the complex of superiority, and then we will see complex of inferiority. So complex of superiority, what is it? And it's quite frequent in this spiritual path, is the fact to think that you're higher level, okay, you compare, and you're higher level than other people. Oh, they're stupid because they don't know that. They don't know the chakra. They don't know how to meditate. They don't know this. I am higher than them. And actually, we have to consider that there is a rhythm for everybody. Some people have chosen for this incarnation through their soul and so on to be kind of ignorant and or to take their time, okay? They will evolve in a certain level for this life and another level for another one, and so on and so forth, okay? Do you judge a baby because he's pooing on himself or is vomiting on your shoulder? No, you have been a baby, you did the same thing, okay? So why reproaching to a baby now? Okay, it's the same thing. Do you reproach to a kid of 3-4 years old? Okay, he ignore chakra system and or it doesn't care? You have been a kid of 3-4 years old, and at this time you didn't know as well. You reproach to I don't know, a teenager if he doesn't is not interested by I don't know, Spinoza, Mahdi, Rumi, whatever, different philosopher and or spiritual guides or mysticism and so on. No, you have been this guy as well. Okay, so you understand my points. This is important to respect that there is a rhythm for everybody, and also there is a kind of capacity as well. If you ascend the mountain, yeah, of course, if you have an old person, maybe this person will be slower. Okay, we'll make some more breaks. Maybe we'll stop at the middle because they cannot afford and so on. But maybe according to the effort this person did, it's maybe more noble than what you are doing because you are in good health. Okay, and maybe you will see someone else even older than you. If you're, I don't know, 40, and maybe someone 50 years old older than you will run away. I mean, they will run compared to you walking. You see that the fact that the complex of superiority is ridiculous when you compare as well with there is always higher. When you reach the top of this mountain backwards, okay, 3,500 meters, you can see other ones. Okay, there is higher, 4,500 in Alps, for example, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 in Himalaya and so on. So it's a metaphor. And Socrates said, all what I know is that I don't know. Okay, so all the wise persons, they know the more they evolve, the more they discover there is even higher than they thought, and so on and so forth. So it's endless. Okay, so let's say, you know, also the fact to spend too much energy by showing off and so on, you are losing time to learn. You know, we say in Buddhism, if you talk, you don't learn anything. I mean, you mature, you structure your mind and so on. So, yeah, matter of fact. But when you listen to someone, you learn something. Okay? So, but this kind of battle, the ping pong show with the knowledge and so on, this is something most of the time is wasting our time. The complex of inferiority is another way. It's on the other way around, is the fact to either you lowering yourself, okay, and because you don't reach a certain performance according to you, or I cannot meditate, I cannot do astral travel, I cannot, I don't know, whatever. But why do you blame on you? Maybe you cannot access so far to astral travel because you're not willing to, and because you're not prepared to. Why? Because maybe you're not in chord in the matter, in the density, on Earth. Okay, and because you're like fleeing and running away from your life, maybe your soul is afraid that you are always traveling, and this is not a finality. This is just to explore. But if you are doing all the time, it's like if you running away, flee, for example, your current life, and you just prefer sleeping and dreaming. Okay, so you take pills and so on, and you sleep 18 hours. It's not life. Okay, so it's the same. Maybe it's because of that. On the other way around, another way of the complex of inferiority, is to iconize or divinize someone. Okay, so you admire someone and you sacralize the person like a new god. Okay, so it's happened a lot nowadays because there are some gurus and some people. Either they manipulate, either they do it because they love to let's say to feel, they feel more confident. They suck your energy, by the way, but they love to not to enlight, but to bright. Okay, it's different, and this is quite different, and it's quite dangerous. Sorry. So this is like to have idol, you know, idol for which you admire, but you don't put into practice what they suggest, what they did, and so on. You have to make the job for yourself. They cannot do for yourself. I'm always saying, really down to earth way, nobody can go to toilets for yourself. Okay, so it's basic. It's the same for inner awakening. Okay, this is inner path, inner way. So, if we go by extension, it's not only in the New Age, new spirituality, and so on. Is very from long time. If you see, for example, and I evoked that in the key 72. Yeah, it's a Christ area. Okay, so it's about Christ and so on. Even Buddha, a lot of people, they burn some incense, okay, to thank probably for the techniques and so on, but Buddha doesn't care. Some people, extreme in Taiwan, they burn some cars to make offering to Buddha. Do you think he does care? Okay, he taught the middle way and the detachments of the materiality. So why he would be happy that you offer, and what he is doing in the hereafter with a car? Does it make sense? Anyway, I think you have the answer. And for Jesus is the same. He said 3 things important, much more than this, but 3 things I would like to share here. He said, "He that believeth in me will also do the works that I do, and will do greater, because," and so on. So he will do better, he will do also, and he will do greater, better. Okay, so he shows that he is not an example, he is a message, okay, a messenger giving a message that you can do it as well, and you can even do better than me. Okay, so this is John 14:12. The second one is said, "You are the light of the world." Okay, you are, not only me. I'm not let's say shining. I'm not shining you. I'm just trying to enlighten your life for you to find your own path and for you to find back this light within you. Okay. Third one, it's you are God's. You are all son of the Most High. Okay, the highest is in the okay, but anyway, this is super important. Why? Because it's just shows all the prophets, all the guides. They said almost the same thing. All the roads lead to Rome, and to the Dome means exactly that. It's showing it is just a springboard to reach yourself, to eye yourself, and not for sacralize someone else. Okay, that's why also Deepak Chopra say religion is following the belief of someone else, and the spirituality is following your own belief. I invite you to think about this. A beautiful sentence that quotes from Sham et Tabrizi, who is the mentor of Rumi, the great Sufi. Okay, who highlight his own light. There are more fake gurus and false teachers in the world than the number of stars in the visible universe. Don't confuse power-driven, self-centered people with true mentors. A genuine spiritual master will not direct your attention to himself or herself, and will not expect absolute obedience or utter admiration from you, but instead will help you to appreciate and admire your inner self. The true mentors are as transparent as a glass. They let the light of God pass through them. I invite you to meditate on that. Another danger is the savior syndrome. What does it mean? It is someone who wants everybody awake. Okay, everybody wakes up. Okay, so, and with their own pattern, with their own vision. Okay, so, and even if some people don't care, they feel bad, they feel upset, or they feel sad, and so on. But this is actually there is nothing and nobody to convince. Just be, just radiate, and that's it. Say what you have to say, okay? If you consider that you have to share some elements and so on, adapt, by the way, to anybody, okay? Because some people are more visual, some people are more, let's say, conceptual and so on. Some people are more literal and so on. Anyway, there is many ways, and also you can plant a seed and it will blossom later. It's possible as well in a few years, in 10 years, in decades, or even later. Okay, but you did a job. That's it. No need to be frustrated because some people don't care. That's part of the game. What is really dangerous as well is disempowerment. What does it mean? It means that you put the fault on someone else, okay? The responsibility on some other people, okay? Your misfortune, for instance, the fact that you cannot awaken because your husband is super bad with you, your kids, your neighbors, the minority, your culture, the government, the politics, the deep state, and so on, the extraterrestrial, and so on, blah 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 blah. Okay, see, it's never your fault; it's always fault of someone else. This is very dangerous. Okay. Why? Because basically we have to accept, maybe the fault can be shared, but either you do something to change that, otherwise if you are waiting, and this is the second danger, I mean within this, is attentiveness. The fact to wait for miracles but you don't do anything. Okay, for example, you are waiting for the Savior. Okay, the Savior, okay, is coming back. The new Messiah is coming back, or galactics, they are arriving, they are cleaning up your ass, okay, or they're cleaning up your planet, okay. You don't change your habits, okay, you don't change your habits, but someone he comes to your home, your house, they clean up everything, and then but you don't change your habits, your behavior. In 1 month, it will be exactly the same disaster. It's the same for us. If we don't change with him, with us, it will never happen. Okay, so this is very, very different, dangerous. But some people, you know, they are just waiting for a good coach, a good documentary, the miraculous new therapy or therapist, and so on and so forth. Okay, and if it doesn't work, it's because it's the fault on the teacher, the lecturer, and so on. Okay, so, but actually, it's really infantilizing spirituality, and it's just not being mature to consider that, and this is quite dangerous. Or, you know, the fact to always to want to wait for, to procrastinate, okay, to project in the future. For example, you will be in harmony when it will be the 5D, okay, but there is a transition, there is vibration. If you don't vibrate, maybe you will keep on staying here on the 3D. So it's a question of, you have to make the job by yourself. Okay, once again, I repeat myself, it's voluntarily provocative, but nobody can go to toilets for you. Okay, it's basic. And, you know, so when I listen to that, I really think about even mystical people or very pragmatical people, like even Gandhi, who say, be the change that you want to see in the world. Don't wait for them. Don't wait for having the right to be happy, to be in harmony, to construct your kind of school, your kind of, I don't know, organization, or your community and so on. It's up to you. It's up to us. It's up to us to decide. Okay? We are in the hours of choice. Well, waiting always for prophecies, messages of guides, of angels, and so on is okay. When you do a video with mediums or mediumic stuff, okay, message of guides, or galactic, you have 10 times more audience than if you do for spirituality and science, or about God, or about I don't know, basics of awakening and so on. Why? Because people are more looking for something outside. okay, like projection and so on. Oh, another danger is to think that awakening is fixed and is like a medal, a diploma, and so on. You know, some people say to you, "Oh, I'm awake since 2011 or 2021." Okay, which date, which hour, what time? It's an infinite path. This is the inner journey. This is, as I like to say, eternal and eternal with a H as well, like ether, like the fifth elements. Okay, this is endless. Nobody, the wisest guy in the world, will never tell you, "I'm wise, I'm awake." Okay, he can tell you, "I'm on a process of awakening," but it's endless. A word to wise. You know, this is Socrates who said, I say again, all what I know is that I don't know. Kind of humility as well. And also because there can be some turbulence, some change, some, you know, even the knowledge is not fixed completely. I'm going to tell you something. When I was very young, I didn't believe in reincarnation. Then I evaluate, and teenager, I used to believe. And after, I discovered different things like trans-incarnation. I did a video like this, is 75.3, something like, or 2, up to you to look and you find. And then, now I really believe in multidimensionality. Same, I did a video like that. Multidimensionality is 76 something. Okay. And actually, I believe now that everybody is doing everybody life, and also in different scenarios. Okay, so everything is existing and all ready to exist. Okay, so it's quite confusing probably for certain of you, but so I'm saying that we evolve, and now the basic things of reincarnation is not that I don't believe anymore in reincarnation. I do believe, but not in the same strict way than a lot of people. You understand? So but this is for enlarging your consciousness. Okay. But it can be also for example, for the dark night of life, of soul, sorry, the dark night of soul. I did a video like this, key 65, if I'm correct. And it was in February or March 22, and I was living it. Okay, so, and before I started, I thought that I reached a certain level and so on, and everything collapsed. And then you are doubting about everything. You are questioning everything, which is quite good as well. It's because always questioning is allowing you to start on a different perspective, and I think it's very is healthy to have this kind of experience. Okay. Anyway, another danger is to think that God or the source, whatever the name, we had a video about God. I think it's the video 70. Memory is correct. But anyway, to think that God or the source is outside yourself or out of other people. Okay, Jesus said, basic, Luke 17:21, the kingdom of God is within you. It cannot be more clear. Rumi, the great Sufi, said, I saw God with the eye of my heart, and I asked him, who are you? He replied, you. Sham of Tabrizi, great Sufi as well, it is so easy to love the perfect, spotless, and infallible God that He is. It's so much more difficult to love our fellow human beings with their imperfection and faults. Without loving God's creations, one cannot sincerely love God. And the last one is Jim Carrey, who said, for a long time I believed that I was a guy who explored the universe when I understood that I discovered that I was the universe who explored a guy. Well, another danger is to do partition, to fragment, to segment the spiritual from your daily life. Okay, your everyday life. It's like you are spiritual only when you do meditation, or when you watch a documentary or an interview, and or when you, I don't know, you are in a retreat and so on. But what is contemplate? Contemplate. You have the word temple, contemplate. It means that you open up the door of the temple within. The kingdom of God is within. This is what I just said before. Another danger is that the ego takes the whole space of the presence with a capital letter of, with a P capital letter of the presence. If you are a full sponge, how do you want to sponge other things? You cannot, basically. It's the same. So you are not aware anymore to signs of life, the synchronicities and so on. Another danger is, okay, it's good to have a selective faith. Okay, as a matter of fact, like this, you don't swallow without chew and to digest information and so on. You maturate, you take a certain distance, discernment, lucidity. That's fine. But when it comes, it tends to consumerism. Okay, consumerist faith, like I only believe what I see, and if I don't have, he has to send me some signs for me to believe. Maybe it should be on the other way around. Maybe it should be, I see what I believe, because in the co-creation, okay, I co-create. You know, in the law of attraction, we treated this topic in the key 36. Okay, so, and maybe because you are not sensitive, you're not receptive, because you are always in the mental, so you're not, maybe you have, in the great book of life, you have sign everywhere, every time, every single second, but you don't listen. This is Victor Hugo, who says something very important. He's a French writer and also a mystical guy. But anyway, he said this is a very sad thing to consider that nature talks and the mankind remains deaf. I invite you to think about that. Another danger is the bulimia of more and more, you know, of knowledge, of power. I didn't say abilities, power. I want some power. I want to master power. And in the American way of spirituality, I mean, New Age, you have a lot of this. Oh, you want to have more power and so on. You're going to co-create everything and so on. When you watch the movie, The Secret, it's always based on materiality. You want a giant, a very big house, villa, a car, and okay, yeah, maybe it's nice to have some comfort, but there is not something else to co-create before, just a reflection. Because it's renewing our consumerist system in a certain extent. And there is a business, we will see at the end, a business of faith. The projection, always to be in a project and projection, but without being aware of the present time. This is a big danger, because actually happiness and awakening doesn't only occurs at the destination, but also on the road, on the path. And this is also a pleasure, to enjoy the present moment of learning new things, to enlarge your consciousness and progressively. You know, there are 3 vices in Buddhism. Ignorance, greed, that's to say attachment, passion, addiction, and third, aversion. Aversion means criticism, hatred, and so on and so forth. Very negative ones always. Well, I do a break now. We will continue in the next video, because otherwise it's a bit undigest, and I want you to digest, you don't swallow necessarily, and you question all what I'm saying. We'll continue with other example of the obstacles, of the limits of the spiritual ego, and then in another video we will see some advice, some techniques, some tips to master and to manage your spiritual ego. well, I hope it will help you to, let's say, to shape the master key to open up the door of consciousness, of love, of whatever you want. As you know, all the roads lead to Rome and to the Dome. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.